Hey everybody, I'm Ray Miller from Audio Advisor, where we've been proudly serving music lovers since 1981. Now, if you're new to hi-fi, you've probably run into all kinds of jargon, DACs, signal paths, phono stages, and wondered, does any of this even matter? Well, today, I'm going to walk you through the core terms and concepts every beginner should know. And by the end, you'll have a solid foundation for building your first real system. Now, even if you're just dipping your toes into the audio pool, or you are a seasoned veteran of 20, 30, or more years as an audiophile, I promise you, you're going to take away something from this video that's going to surprise you. Before we start, what hi-fi topic confuses you the most right now? Do me a favor, drop it in the comments. It helps us decide what videos to make next. To understand anything in home audio, you first need a clear definition of the term we build everything around, high fidelity. So we're going to start there. At its heart, hi-fi or high fidelity simply means reproducing music as close to the original performance as possible. So think of it like bringing a concert into your living room. The detail, the dynamics, the emotion. But achieving that realism requires understanding the biggest obstacle in audio. Now that we know what hi-fi aims for, the next step is understanding what gets in the way. And that brings us to distortion. That doesn't sound very good, does it? Well, distortion is any unwanted noise added during playback. The stuff that gets in the way of clean, lifelike sound. And it can come from all kinds of places. For example, perhaps a mechanical noise from a turntable stylus, like a faint scraping or rumbling as the needle tracks the groove. Maybe dirty or worn records, causing snaps, crackles, pops, and harshness. Perhaps you have bad or loose cables, adding hum, hiss, or static into the signal path. Or maybe you're overdriving your amplifier, pushing it beyond its limits, so the sound hardens or becomes gritty. Then there's speaker distortion, when drivers are pushed beyond their realistic limits and begin to break up. Also, environmental vibration. That could be footsteps, bass rumble, or unstable furniture feeding noise back into sensitive components. All of these are forms of distortion, and they can rob your system of clarity and realism. When you lower distortion, even by a little, everything opens up. Detail, soundstage, dynamics, it all improves. Soundstage, by the way, is that sense of three-dimensional space in a recording, where you can hear instruments placed left, right, even front to back. That's why understanding and reducing distortion is one of the most important steps in achieving true high fidelity. Now let's talk about the three core components of any hi-fi system. With the goal and the obstacle explained, let's talk about the gear itself. Every hi-fi system, no matter the size, is built from three essential parts working together. First, the source, where the music begins. Your source might be a turntable, CD player, music streamer, or even your TV. Think of it as the musician in a live concert. Everything originates here. A clean source reading your music accurately means much better sound throughout the entire system. Now, one important note for vinyl lovers. Turntables produce an extremely low signal that needs special processing. That's where a phono preamp, sometimes called a phono stage, comes in. It boosts and equalizes the turntable's output so the amplifier can use it. Some turntables and integrated amps have one built in. Others require a separate unit. If you're getting into vinyl or if you've been there for a while, this is an essential piece of the puzzle. Number two, the amplifier, the translator of the system. Once you have a source, You need a device that boosts and processes the signal. That's the amplifier's job. Sources send out tiny, weak signals. The amplifier boosts those signals to a level your speakers can work with. Now, there are actually two jobs happening inside most amplifiers. The preamp handles source selection and volume control. It's the brain of your system. The preamp, as the name implies, gets the signal ready for the next stage in your system, the power amp. The power amp job is to do the heavy lifting, providing current that physically moves your speaker drivers. There are three main categories of amplifiers beginners should know. Integrated amplifiers, that is, preamp and power amp combined in one box. It's simple, cost-effective, and perfect for getting started. Then you have separates, a standalone preamp paired with a standalone power amp. This gives you maximum upgrade potential and flexibility down the road. Then receivers. Similar to integrated amps, but they also add radio tuners or home theater features like surround sound processing and music streaming. For most people starting out, an integrated amp is the sweet spot. Keeps things simple while delivering real performance. And number 3, the speakers, turning electricity into sound. Finally, we need something that turns all of that electrical energy into real, physical sound waves. Speakers take the amplified signal and convert it into the music you hear. Now, there are two main types. We've got passive speakers. They require an external amplifier to power them. This is the traditional setup and gives you flexibility to mix and match components. Then we have active speakers. They have built-in amplification. You just connect to your source and you're ready to go. Knowing which type you own determines what other gear you need. You'll also see frequency response listed on every speaker's spec sheet, something like 45 Hz to 20 kHz. This tells you the range of sounds a speaker can reproduce, from deep bass, that'd be the lower numbers, to high treble, the higher numbers. Larger speakers with bigger woofers typically reach lower into the bass range, which is why bookshelf speakers often benefit from a subwoofer. Now let's talk digital audio and DACs. Since most people stream or play digital music today, you need to understand one more important piece of the chain, the DAC. Before we talk specifically about DACs, it helps to understand the basic difference between analog and digital audio. Analog formats like vinyl records or tape store sound as a continuous waveform. Digital formats like CDs and streaming store sound as numbers, the ones and zeros you hear people talk about. Neither format is automatically better. They're just different ways of preserving music. But your amplifier and speakers can only work with analog signals. So any digital music has to be converted back into analog before you can hear it. That conversion step is where the DAC comes in. A DAC is a digital to analog converter. It turns digital files, the ones and zeros stored on your phone, computer, or streaming service, into analog signals your amplifier can understand. Every phone and computer has a DAC built in, but an external DAC can dramatically improve clarity and realism. You'll often see DACs described by their resolution, things like 24-bit 192 kHz. Without getting too technical, higher numbers generally mean more detail can be preserved from the original recording. You'll also see different connection types: USB from a computer, optical or coaxial from a TV or CD player, and sometimes Bluetooth for wireless streaming. Many modern music streamers have quality DACs built right in, which simplifies your setup considerably. Now let's talk about cables and signal path basics. Before sound reaches your ears, it travels through several cables. Using the right one helps maintain signal quality. You don't need exotic cables, just good, reliable ones. The basics are RCA or XLR for analog connections between components, optical, coaxial, or HDMI ARC for digital and TV audio, USB cables for connecting DACs to computers as streamers, and speaker cables for amplifier to speaker connections. Good cables protect your signal and reduce noise. Just make sure they're well constructed and appropriate for the job. You don't need to spend a fortune. Room acoustics and speaker placement. Even the best equipment can sound bad in a poorly arranged room. That's why acoustics matter. Simple adjustments, like moving speakers away from walls, angling them toward the listener, and creating symmetry, can dramatically improve soundstage and clarity. Pulling speakers out from the corners helps avoid boomy or muddy bass. And keeping both speakers the same distance from your listening seat helps center the vocals and stabilize the stereo image. Soft furnishings like rugs, curtains, or even a well-stocked bookcase can help tame harsh reflections, especially in rooms with a lot of glass or hard surfaces. Try to keep the tweeters, the small high-frequency drivers, roughly at ear level when you're seated. This simple change alone can make vocals and instruments sound clearer. A great starting point is the listening triangle. Position your two speakers and your listening seat to form an equilateral triangle, with the speakers angled inward toward your ears. Each side of the triangle should be roughly the same length. This setup helps you hear instruments and vocals locked in place instead of smeared across the soundstage. And you don't need expensive acoustic treatments to start. Just thoughtful placement and a little experimentation. Now let's cover how to make sure your amplifier and speakers work well together. You'll want to check 3 things. Power handling. How much power your speakers can receive safely, measured in watts. Your amp should fall within your speaker's recommended range. Sensitivity. How efficiently speakers convert power into volume, measured in decibels. High sensitivity speakers, say 90 dB or above, need less power to play loudly, which is great for smaller amps. Impedance, measured in ohms. A speaker's impedance, for example, 4 ohms or 8 ohms, determines how much current it draws from an amplifier. Most home speakers are 4, 6, or 8 ohms. Your amplifier needs to be rated to handle your speaker's impedance. Running 4 ohm speakers on an amp only rated for 8 ohms can cause overheating or even damage. So when in doubt, match the numbers or check with the manufacturer. Getting this right ensures your system performs safely and sounds its best. Once you understand the basics, the next question is usually, where do I upgrade first? So let's simplify. A solid upgrade order for beginners is, in this order, speakers, source, amplifier, room acoustics, cables and accessories, and finally, a DAC, or specialty components. Build one step at a time, and your system will grow naturally with your budget. So now that you've got a complete foundation of hi-fi basics, what the terms mean, how the components work together, and how to think about building your system. If you want to go deeper, visit us at audioadvisor.com. Head over to our Learning Center or talk with one of our experts at 1-800-942-0220. We'd love to help you design your perfect setup. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us which part of hi-fi we clarified the most for you today. Welcome to the world of high fidelity. I'm Ray Miller. Thanks for watching and happy listening.